Hello, Internet! I'm HamsterBomb.
I'm Zach.
And this is HITBOX, the gaming podcast show where we talk about whatever the heck we feel like talking about. And, we went one whole episode with not talking about every game ever, Zach.
Whew, man.
I know, it was...
I am rejuvenated now.
Whew, now we're all ready to get back into talking about every single game ever. And
Yes.
A very, very brief disclaimer before we get into this one. We're going to be going to 1986. We finally passed that threshold of...
Woo!
3 Hitbox episode history ones of 1985 and then 2 pre-85.
Yep.
That ended up getting split. It was so big.
Yeah.
This one is, unfortunately, one of the biggest years in gaming, and we're going to try and condense it into one episode.
Yeah.
But on top of that, we also decided, because this was getting really complicated, we're going to start honoring the worldwide release, or rather the first release of games, and not just like the ones in the West, because... From here, especially on, anniversaries are going to get really strange if people are like, hold on, that was this year. Why is it not that year? I'm like, oh, well, it
Right.
technically came out here in Japan, but not in the West for us to play it. So
Yep.
forget it. I mean, if someone's honoring an anniversary, which is basically what we're doing anyway, let's just honor it like this because it's just going to get way too confusing. Our lists were messed up, to say the least.
Yeah,
So-
I tried my best, but after a while you start going through lists and your eyes just glaze over and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're like,
that-
oh,
that's
it's at
weird.
86, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
god, but that was Japanese 86. So anyway,
Yeah.
I went through these, try to make sure that we got them all right, and we're gonna start off with one that was actually gonna be in our 87 video because of that, but instead, an 86 game, The Legend of Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda.
And once again, while we're talking about these games, I'm going to be playing at least as many as I can on here with you guys. So,
Yep.
Zach, tell us all about The Legend of Zelda.
Well, first you gotta set up a name, and
I'm doing my best here.
I was gonna say, oh, you're not gonna be like Lonk? Or
No.
not gonna be Lunk? Okay.
Whenever I play games that let me name my character, I always go hamster
I see.
every time. I don't know why, I just do.
It's a default. So anyway.
All right, Legend of Zelda.
Oh my gosh, where to even begin?
I don't know. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. See, how am I
Oh.
going to get through this without? Oh man.
Just talking about everything, yeah.
I know it's such an influential and amazing game
I was
for
gonna
what
say,
it is.
From, I guess.
It's almost like the definitive home console game. You know, if you think
Yeah.
about it, because like you're transitioning from arcades and all the stuff we were talking about in our pre-80 video, and all of a sudden you've got this big, grand adventure that you can play at home.
Right. Ooh, a fairy.
Which I'm full.
No, but I would almost say that this is like one of the big releases in like the open world genre, I guess.
Yeah,
'Cause you're
there's
not
another
really-
game coming up that I definitely want to talk about for that same regard. But
Yeah.
I totally understand, just as like the fact that you will let your player go wherever they want. Like I went up, I went left. You know, you can go. You can go wherever you want.
Yep.
And just going wherever and discovering stuff and figuring out like which bush you can burn to find secrets.
Which rock can be bombed.
Yeah, it was so cool for people playing this, especially like for a schoolyard thing, for people sharing.
Real quick,
Mm-hmm.
exit the temple.
Yeah,
Now we're gonna go straight back in,
okay.
and yep, the door's unlocked. There you go. I just saved you a key that you can take to other dungeons.
I see. Okay,
Yes,
I
okay.
didn't realize that was the thing. But yeah, that's another part of the game. There's actually a lot of funny bugs to it and weird
Yeah.
quirks, but there's so much to it. Not only like the music is amazing. I'm definitely gonna review this game eventually.
Oh, yeah.
I love NES Zelda. And even Famicom Zelda actually has a lot of innovations like on top of this. It's really cool. Like the
Oh, yeah.
pose voice actually works.
Yes.
And there's
Instead of just being susceptible to arrows in our version.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, this is basically one of the big like granddaddies of like an open world kind of game.
Right.
You play as the young adventurer Link in his first appearance. The whole point of the game is you're supposed to be finding the 8 fragments of
Right.
the Triforce.
The game was actually subtitled A Hyrule Fantasy, and the whole series was actually supposed to be called A Hyrule Fantasy, and that didn't stick, so...
Nope.
No, apparently the princess was a little more exciting than that, but
I
still,
guess so.
I totally understand. Yeah, a weird power-up right there, the clock, that never comes back.
Yeah. but you're supposed to collect the 8 fragments and fight Ganon, who is trying to take the Triforce for himself.
The 8 pieces of the Triforce.
Yep.
Which, at this point, by the way...
There's only 2.
Exactly, there's only 2 pieces of the Triforce. It's so confusing even back here.
It was wisdom and power, and it's the wisdom one you're trying to find, because Ganon's already got the Triforce of power.
But what was really neat about this was how much learning involved, or like trial and error even. And not like punishing trial and error. Say like Ganon, like they'll give you hints in the game. Some of them are bogus, but some of them are also like Ganon can only be killed with the silver arrow. You need to discover the silver arrow, otherwise you're doomed in that room.
Exactly. And again, like we said earlier, I think if you just kill all those guys, you'll open that door. Yeah. So like what you might be seeing if you're watching. You have to learn that, you have to kill all the enemies in some rooms in order to open the door. Okay.
Yeah, it was pushing a block. But that's another thing, too. Like, it's all interactive and trying to figure out how to get your, how do you progress? And it really is like that first open world game.
Exactly.
And you get, like, weird cryptic hints. Like, I'd have this old man saying, the eastmost peninsula is the secret.
Which means nothing.
Well, I believe it actually meant something in the Japanese one or something, because, like, there was a reorganization of how the dungeon worked. But we will get so off track if you let us just talk about this one game forever, and we honestly might. But for now, just to save where we're at here, I'm going to nab this. You know what? Here, let's throw that there. I can continue that later, and we might even in this video, but... There's a lot of other games I wanted to talk to you guys about today, because there's so much that came out in this year.
Yes.
One thing in particular I want to jump to is, if you saw from last time, I have a stockpile of games that are not included on here. One of them is a Famicom-only game. I actually got Famicom games working on my NES Classic.
Ooh, the disc system
version. The disc system versions. And if you, I have a lot of fun ones we're going to get to try today. So this first one here is a game that is Zelda-like, and it's like a forgotten classic. A really, really cool game, The Mysterious Murasame Castle.
Yep. What would probably be wow.
Yeah,
what would
nice
be considered
NES
like
little cutscene.
The sister game to The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, and if you're watching this, you'll see how similar it already looks. I'm going to start registering the name again while Zach tells us a bit about the game.
So it plays very similar to The Legend of Zelda in that you have a sword, you're going from screen to screen, exploring a little bit, but it's more linear and it's more of an action kind of game, where you're trying to get to the mysterious Murasame Castle and get through it.
Yeah, and like infiltrate through it. Yeah, it's very much just an action, almost like just a fighting game. It's kind of taking advantage of the Zelda combat concept.
Right.
Change side B. Oh. Never mind. Was that the end of my presentation on...
Yeah, how would you even...
I guess I can't do that, can I? An error has occurred. Well, that sucks. Well, never mind. I'll have to find some other way to get around that quirk. But yeah, there's a lot to how the game functions. It basically plays like a Legend of Zelda, except you're going through this castle and you're fighting off just tons of enemies. There's like power-ups, and there's so much to it. It's really more about like getting deeper in a more of a linear game as opposed to Zelda's open world. So if you really like that top-down Zelda combat, give this game a shot, or try and find it somewhere that'll absolutely function. That's a shame that it wanted me to switch sides.
Because you know why? The save data
disc
is written
system.
The
disc gets saved on the other side. I gotta find some way to make that function or find a way to get it to work in an emulator. But regardless, we've actually got a lot of other games to talk about that we actually can't play with you guys today.
Yep.
And I'm gonna pull some of them up on here. Woohoo! So we can see some of these. And we're going to try and go through these a little quicker so we can get back to the ones that we can play. But we still didn't want to pass this year up without talking about some of these. Because they all bring their own little quirks to the table. This first one here, and I'm going to let Zach drive if he wants to, is Wonder Boy.
Yep, Wonder Boy. It was a game from...
Arcade.
From the arcades, made not by Hudson Soft. I think this one was Sega. There's a weird history with this and Adventure Island. But anyway.
Okay.
So... You're playing as the eponymous Wonder Boy. Your girl has been captured. Run to the right and save her.
Yeah, run to the right. Yeah.
And you have a timer in the fact that you have a hunger meter. If your hunger meter ever depletes all the way, it's game over.
Yeah, you got to keep hitting food.
Yep, you got to keep
hitting food. It's like
food.
that Kirby gourmet race minigame.
Yep,
basically.
Exactly.
Except you can get power-ups. You can like throw little tomahawks. You can ride on a skateboard.
Exactly. It wouldn't be an 80s game without skateboarding.
Exactly. It's got to be gnarly, man.
Oh, totally tubular.
So, I guess we bring this one up mostly because it's still around. And
yeah, there's still Wonder Boy and Monster
this.
Boy games. Yeah, and the top left there, if you can see it. There you go.
Underneath our face cam.
Yep, 2019 was one of the most recent games because they've remade a couple of them. There's like been a new just arcade version of the original Wonder Boy released on Switch. I think it was like Wonder Boy Returns. Oh, there it is.
Returns Remix, if that's what this is. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
So yeah, it's a series that's still going. It's kind of fun. I like it.
It's doing its thing. All right. So we got another one here for you.
Yep.
Defender of the Crown.
Yes.
So if there's any, really great shots of this to showcase. Actually, this one's under the face cam. I want to move it so you can see this.
There you go.
If you were watching this, then take a look at this because this game visually looks phenomenal.
Right.
And if you're not, just Google Defender of the Crown 1986 and just get some shots in this game.
Yes.
Wow. A early PC game?
An Amiga game from
Really?
Commodore. Yeah, so this was like one of the big ones that really helped to push the Commodore, and the fact that, yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful, especially compared to the competition. This computer had the horsepower to give us stuff like this, which is a fun, like, sort of medieval strategy simulation game.
Most early graphics were limited on computers. Were limited to only showing certain colors during like certain widths of the pixels on the screen.
Yes.
So like you couldn't show blue and green like right next to each other within like 7 pixels or something like that. It's really complicated, but these look like full color, like still made through MS Paint, but by like clicking meticulously and painting these amazing works to get this game visually to function. This is just the graphics of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's really amazing how that even worked.
As a game, it's all right, but from a visual standpoint, yeah,
it's
really
mostly
pretty.
the visuals of the history of why that was such a big deal.
Yes.
Jumping forward, because we're gonna fly through these today. We're gonna be on time. It's gonna be our first Hitbox on time. It's totally not gonna happen. We have some big games coming.
Anyway,
Fantasy Zone.
Fantasy Zone. Another Sega arcade game. You play as Opa Opa, the little spaceship.
Yeah.
And you're scrolling left to right in different fantasy zones. And the whole point is to take down these living enemy, like, generators, I guess, is what they are. And you collect money, and you can buy power-ups from a floating shop, and then you fight a boss at the end of the stage once you get all of the generators destroyed.
That's so weird.
It is.
So weird.
It's very Sega, and that's why I really like it. And it's a series that lasted for a while. They still rebrand and still sell this.
Do they?
Yeah, I think that's a Sega Ages game available on Switch.
Huh. Because until Zach put it on our list of stuff to talk about, I had never even heard of this.
See, this is more my era, my speed. I love this sort of stuff.
Well, that's actually it's why we're doing this.
Yep.
The whole idea, like, if you went through these episodes and you're like, oh, I knew every single one of those games and everything innovative about them, then, I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose. Or the whole idea, I guess, is to go through this and just discover something new about games you either didn't know about or cool new stuff that you want to learn about for just where these things come from.
Exactly. But up next.
Yep, up next is Outrun.
Outrun! This is a very Sega heavy segment, but regardless.
Yeah.
Outrun is another one of those what was called super scalar arcade games where it really toted the graphics as like being realistic. Like you would race away from the screen, and as the sprites would come towards you, they actually increased in detail and size at the time a pretty realistic sprint.
Was this an arcade cabinet?
Yes, it was. You actually
This is one of those racing ones where you like sit in a car. And,
yeah. You actually had a seat. You had a.
I might have actually played this and forgotten about it because I've played some like that.
Yeah.
And
it actually has a pedal and brakes you could use.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's just a fun game, and again, it just really shows what Sega was able to do in the arcades with its power, and it's just, technical know-how, which I really appreciate. Yeah, it's a fun racing series.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We can't really pass up the 80s without talking about those cabinets where they integrated so much into like physically being in there, like later, much later. I remember some of those like 3D Jurassic Park ones where you'd have to get in the Jeep and you're driving and you're shooting at the 3D dinosaurs coming at you.
Yep.
It was like the more involved they could rock the thing you're sitting in and vibrate the seats. It was a big thing that I hope is still out there.
It's mainly in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you go into every movie theater anymore and you're gonna see, you know, these big House of the Dead setups. Maybe some old ones. But still. Anyway, moving on. Rampage.
This is another one of my favorites. I love the Rampage series.
What did this release on?
This was originally arcade, yes.
Okay.
So the whole point of the game is you're one of the giant monsters. You're going on a rampage, and
smash stuff.
You smash stuff.
Yep.
That's it.
Don't get killed.
Don't get killed. Eat people.
Smash stuff.
Smash stuff.
Wait, is that the only reason we're talking about this?
I wholeheartedly really enjoyed it.
It's just because you really like it.
Shut up.
Okay, Zach really likes Rampage. If you like giant monsters destroying stuff, seriously, the play Rampage is fun. Yeah. But for time's sake, yay, it's fun. We gotta move on. Space Quest 1.
Yes. So this is one of the. This is again an early adventure game from Sierra. It's built on the same engine that was used for Leisure Suit Larry, and this is more of. This is a very comedic game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. Like it doesn't take itself so seriously like King's Quest or Police Quest. You're a janitor.
That's great.
And you can die on the first screen because you actually step into a hole that you can't see, and you just have to reload.
Oh.
And the whole point is that you're trying to stop an alien incursion, and you're just a janitor, and shenanigans ensue. It's a really fun game.
I'm glad to see them like screw around with stuff like that and try and make weird, quirky games even back then.
Exactly.
But anyway, we have a lot that we can now play with you guys today, and these are the ones that we are honestly gonna probably take an eternity moving on from and accepting that we're not talking about them anymore. Just like Zelda, like we really had to kick ourselves in the teeth, like stop talking about Zelda.
Go.
Go.
Now we go to
Castlevania.
I love this game.
Yes, this
so much.
Such a good game.
It
now,
is so good.
we're gonna play. I have beaten this game, Castlevania NES. Now, with some liberal usage of the save state features in some parts, because this game hates you.
This is NES hard at its probably at its most iconic.
Yeah, when people think NES hard, they're thinking either NES Ghosts and Goblins.
Before you go further, jump over the gap.
I tried jumping over the door. Yeah, you like jump over the door. Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, there's secrets everywhere in this game.
Ooh.
It's another part of, like, what made Zelda so fun, except what Castlevania is more perfecting the linear action platforming.
Yeah, we had plenty of those before, but not in the way that was, like, designed like Castlevania was.
Right.
Because you have a specific way to jump. If you don't hold a direction button, you just jump in place.
Right. And you can't, like, direct where your jump goes.
Right.
Once you've jumped, you've committed.
It's fixed. It's a fixed jump. Which the whole game was designed around that, and your knowledge of the level and your fast reaction. Yep.
Yeah. And
your fast reaction speed to get through things, and it's such a cool premise too. It's one of those.
One thing that you haven't even mentioned yet that makes this so cool. Crazy boss fights.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Castlevania is just like already thematically horror in general.
Yeah.
Just turned up to almost like a parody degree.
Almost, yeah. Like
almost.
Yeah, it's very much
it takes itself seriously, but it's still like it's got like a little bit of everything, and it's kind of funny in that regard.
It's an homage to all those old Universal movies like Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, and all that. Yeah, so it's an amalgamation of all that sort of stuff, and it takes itself just seriously enough. Oh, you're gonna go for it? Oh.
I was thinking of doing the bat boost, but no, I'm.
No, let's just move on.
No, yeah, right. We have so many games to talk about, and honestly, like, I really love Castlevania 2, as well. Rather, is what I meant to say. I was trying to attack that, but still, the controls. That is one thing that holds this game back. It's a little clunky, especially with stairs. But I mean, Castlevania just, in general, has problems with stairs and lots of pot roasts in the walls.
That chicken's still good, right?
Yeah, I'm
Even
sure.
with all the mortar
I'm sure
and
it's
dust.
just fine.
Yeah.
Another game I want to talk about is actually right next to it. Taito's Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble.
I like this game a lot.
A lot of people are very in between on how they feel about Bubble Bobble. It can get really frustrating.
It really can, but yeah, this was originally an arcade release. The one we're playing is the NES version from a couple years later. You play as either Bub or Bob. It can be a 1 or 2 player game, and the whole point is you trap enemies in bubbles, pop them by jumping on them, and you just got to get through all the enemies. And yep, there we go.
Yep, and just eat fruit.
Eat fruit, because you got to. Are you saving your girlfriends in this one too?
I don't even remember. I just know you're.
Who cares? The music, that's the main.
The music's really nice. Yeah, and also, you know what I really liked about this was
What's that?
how like the levels would transition weirdly. So like you would actually fall. Yeah, that was close.
Yeah.
You actually fall to the next level. You don't like spawn another level or anything. Like if you're watching this, you actually like fall as if it's already loaded in there. So it's technically a scrolling, top-down scrolling game.
Almost,
but but it performs almost like it doesn't need to focus on that. It's pretty neat in that regard.
Oh yeah, it's a fun little action puzzler.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them back in the day too.
There
Single-screen action
was.
puzzlers.
Yeah, it was almost like that. Almost defined what a game was in the same sense that Space Invaders made like just space in general the backdrop or setting of video game.
Yeah, it was just a video game.
Game. Video game just means you're in space.
Exactly. Yeah. So. No.
But yeah, Bubble Bobble. It will get hard. But it's still a fun game.
They
all just die.
So good. Yep.
Anyway, we've got a lot more to play.
Yeah, so we'll go.
So yeah, Bubble Bobble it's all right. I've never been like a super huge fan of it or anything. It's good enough. The next game we want to showcase on here is actually not one of them that Nintendo was kind enough to let me play, but we can finally now on HitBox officially talk about Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest. I love this game. It's very.
Do you?
I do.
You like Dragon Quest?
I do. Surprise. Oh wait. Now, one thing I will say before you begin. One little detail, and this game is full of details. Depending on what your name is, capitalization, letters, everything determines your starting stats.
Oh my gosh.
So the people have
let's see what Hamster does.
People have actually calculated what the
an ideal name.
The best name to get the best stats. And it also determines your growth as well throughout the game.
No.
So depending on what your name is.
I mean that's.
You want fast.
Yeah, right. Fast speed. But anyway, it's cool. But I'm gonna let you talk while I just try and play some of it, just so we have like some sort of backdrop. Yeah. Go ahead. You have your 5 minutes of fame.
Okay, so this is basically the progenitor of what we would all know as the JRPG.
Yes.
You play as the descendant of Erdrick or Loto in the original Japanese. The evil Dragon Lord has come and taken the Ball of Light, which has kept peace in the kingdom. You are on a one-man quest in order to go throughout the kingdom, figure out how to get to Charlock Castle in the center, which is on an island, inaccessible through by water, and it's just basically one huge questing game where you're trying to go around and just get what you need in order to kill the Dragon Lord. That's it. Oh, and also save a princess. She's in there too. You don't have to. And that's the beautiful thing too. That's one of the big driving story focuses. You don't have to rescue the Princess Guilin. You could just let her rot in the cave where the Dragon Lord has her.
You know,
it's so good.
There's a lot of advancements in this, but one of them I know that games, even after this, are going to struggle with, was the very first thing that guy was doing was having text boxes that scroll.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
It really is.
And having so much information in this, like, this is happening in an RPG. This isn't happening in a simple little arcade game.
No.
There's already very little room to spare in terms of bytes to make this game function really well.
Yeah, I mean, they had to scrimp and save a lot on memory. Go walk over those things that look like chests.
Yeah, I was. Nothing was happening.
And then press, go to
Oh,
the
I needed to be
option
standing
menu.
on it to
Yeah,
then...
and then go to search.
I tried searching in front of it. That was my problem.
No, yeah, that's...
Oh, nope, that's not right.
Open. Is there... No.
Door, take?
There we go, that's right. That was
has found torch.
Yeah,
I see.
That is the one big issue with this game, which later games would fix.
Found some gold.
Is that it hews heavily on RPG interfaces of the time.
Yeah,
where everything is menu driven. Yeah,
it feels definitely a lot of the previous games that we were talking about in our pre-85. So you can tell what it was inspired by.
Oh yeah, exactly. But yeah, again, it's just such a well-made game, and it's like there's not a lot. There's no cutscenes or anything. It's just you exploring the world, making your own way through it, and that's what I really love about this game.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, and obviously, since it's an RPG, so early too, we really can't get into it. However, we're going to just keep moving from here. Sorry, we have so many games to talk about that
go for it.
We've got a million we got to get to. This next one, I'm actually not a big fan of this game. But I'm going to play it for you anyway, because it is still a big title that came out this year. Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus.
Oh my god.
I know you don't like this game.
But
like
still,
it
you know, yeah, it's better than some. I mean, at the time, if I'm comparing it to other stuff back then, sure, it plays a little better than some other action platformers. You might say that it controls a little better than, say, Castlevania. Just because I can control where my jump is.
Right.
Which is nice, especially, you know, where you got these wings and you can kind of flutter a bit. But, the health system is probably what kills this game.
Yeah.
And, no, when I'm picking up the hearts are not health. That is currency.
Yep. And hearts in Castlevania were for
That's for
weapons.
basically magic. Yeah. Yeah, it's all a mess. Nobody knew what hearts were for back then.
Yeah, the one thing I do like about this game is that, especially at first, it kind of gives you a sense of, like, going up and up, almost like you're flying in a way.
Yeah, I mean, later you got regular side-scrolling levels. You have, later even, like, space shooting levels.
I forget what the hammers even do.
You need to collect the mallets later because there are segments where you need to use them to open up bonus room stuff.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, I already went too far. You want to go the other way because you loop around.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so there's multiple ways to get up to the top. And the different ways, like you see there's a door that I can't access. The Grim Reapers are evil.
Yep.
And I'm probably just going to die.
Yeah. I always just avoided them.
Yeah, they're really not worth trying to kill.
Yeah, again, I think it's a fun game.
It's an extremely challenging game.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's the big takeaway from a lot of these games is that they are hard.
Yeah, I'm trying to get around this guy to get to the goblet, which is health. Oh my god.
Oh right, because that's supposed to be like Bacchus's wine
Gonna go
or
in
something. Yeah.
I have no idea. So this is actually the room I think where you use the mallets. So see, I spent one mallet and already guessed wrong, and I got the bad guy, and it boots you out. So that was fun.
Yeah.
But at least it got rid of the Grim Reaper who was standing by the door.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, it's a really tough game, and honestly, if I'm trying to think of games where its level 1 is so punishingly hard that most players don't get past it, I think of this and Ghosts and Goblins.
Exactly. Oh well, someone's having an issue up there.
Yeah, wow, that's nice.
that's to your advantage, at least.
It kind of is. But anyway, yeah, Kid Icarus. At the very least, one thing that I do like about it is it at least is taking advantage of this new concept of the adventure series. And look at this. I'm actually going to beat level 1 if I can kill this frog.
Of course, he has that final moment.
Right. So anyway, yeah, that's level 1 of Kid Icarus. But yeah, it was part of the what Nintendo was calling the Adventure Series.
Yep.
And there is another game, and since I at least beat level 1, I might as well throw that here.
Yeah.
Another game that was also from the Adventure Series that I'm going to pull up and play for you guys. However, I'm not going to play the one that Nintendo gave us. I'm going to play, Metroid
now, are we gonna
on the Famicom Disk System. Hopefully this doesn't have the Murasame Castle problem. I haven't actually gotten that. Far to test it. I honestly just put these on here today. But still, the reason I want to play this version of it, by the way, is this is the unedited version of it. The soundtrack is beautiful on the Famicom Disk System, and it is awful on the NES. Among other differences, like the game actually plays a little bit better and the sound effects are different.
Yes.
But still, I'm going to be playing this one also with a save feature.
Kill mode.
Yeah, and like it measured like how many days. But anyway, Metroid. I have no idea how to. Oh, good. There's English characters over there.
Okay, I could not read kanji to save my life.
No.
Or is that katakana? I have no idea.
But anyway, Metroid. If you want me to tell you why this is an important game, you need to go to my whole series episodes I've done and playing with myself, just talking about one in particular of this game.
I think we've run.
Oh, is that already it?
Yeah.
Oh. Fine, I'll go to the other one. Metroid on NES.
You don't sound so happy about
But anyway,
it.
boom, we're already into it right now. This is probably what it was going to load us into anyway.
Yeah.
So, what's really cool about this game, and I'm just going to demonstrate it really quickly. Most games, action platformers, have your character, attacking stuff, doing whatever, learning how your game functions, which in this case, you're running, you're jumping, you're shooting. It's not too different from anything else. But eventually, if I were to keep going to the right and you learn you can jump, you can shoot the door to open it, you will reach a dead end.
Yes.
Which flabbergasted people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you reach a dead end, you give up. You eventually have to go back, and if you go back and run left, you'll find that, one, you have the ability to go left, and you'll get your first upgrade, the Morph Ball. And the game, from here, the only way to escape, uses the Morph Ball. So it's actually trying to show you, without saying anything, this is a game about exploring, going where you're not expecting to go.
Yep.
Try going the wrong way first if you think that something may be different. And you're going to, along your way, find different power-ups that are going to help you go and explore more of the map. Which I find that so brilliant, trying to do gameplay instruction without saying anything. I don't know, there's so much I could say about the original Metroid. It also has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, a good amount of them are fixed, and I mean fixed, in the Famicom version. Just, it's unfortunate that I can't play that one for you.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually I'll get it running on here properly, but still, I would recommend, if you want to play one of them, play that one. But still, and I think you actually can play Famicom games on your, and here's where I would have needed the Morph Ball, on your NSO, Nintendo Switch Online accounts, if you switch your region to Japan, I think.
Yeah, you have to create a Japanese account. But
right,
yeah,
but you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. But anyway, I, of course, will sit here and talk about Metroid all day if you let me. I adore this game, but I also have a lot of problems with this game.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, it's a flawed NES game, but show me an NES game that doesn't have flaws in it. So,
besides,
and just for, like, I guess how ambitious this idea is, this is an open world just like Zelda, but this world is bigger than Zelda. It has more secrets than Zelda. It has more traps than Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having more, just so much more to do and discover, it just makes it, I don't know, to me, so much more interesting. And of course, like, the theme, the world of Metroid I love, but that's just a separate thing. But, of course, if you let me, I'll talk about Metroid forever. It's clearly one of my favorite games. I actually have a little shrine downstairs with a physical NES Metroid there, too.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so moving on, we actually mentioned this next game I want to talk about earlier.
Ah, yes.
And this game is hard.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm actually going to be reviewing this very soon, as it was a request from a Patreon member for playing with myself, and it is Ghosts and Goblins. You're going to have to do the talking as I hyper-focus here, because this is one of the hardest video games ever made.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, the arcade came first, and I don't know if the NES game was actually 86, was it?
The NES game was 86, yeah. Time is weird. But no, because I don't
well, yeah, if
remember,
people, well, once again, yeah, if people looking up when Ghosts and Goblins came out, it was originally, like, an original Ghosts and Goblins, yes, would have actually said 86, because of the arcade, for sure. I'm not positive about the rest of it.
The arcade game is also a little bit, or the NES version, rather, is a little bit different than the arcade version. But the whole point is...
Oh my god.
You got it.
I'm trying so hard. You just go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, you play as Arthur. The princess has been kidnapped by the devil, basically.
Yep.
And
bad guy.
You have to... Yep, the bad guy. And you have to go and save her. You only have 2 hits, as you saw.
Yep. Your first hit, you lose your armor. Second hit, you lose your life.
Yep. Fair exchange.
And that's it.
Course.
And as we can see on here, you have 6 levels. And honestly, this game... Oh, and you also keep your weapon through deaths. So right now I have the fireball, which I actually prefer over the spear. It does a lot of damage. It's actually one of the best weapons to attack the red devils with.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage, but you're only limited to 2 throws
per yes.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, 2 hits and they happen fast, as you just saw. Now, unlimited continues.
Yeah,
which helps a lot.
So it's not absolutely punishing in that regard.
And if you say die at level 2, so you just beat that, or even level 5, you will always spawn at level 5. until you turn your game off. That's the thing.
Yep.
So you really have to do this in one go. And it's an extremely punishing game. One of the hardest parts about this is one of the later levels where you need to intentionally leave a weapon.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a game over, but it really doesn't mean anything. It means that, because there's checkpoints. I actually didn't even get to a checkpoint in this level. There's a halfway point. If you get to a checkpoint and you get a game over, it will continue from there. There's
just make
also
sure you go to continue and not one player.
Right, you have
Otherwise
to hit select to actually go down,
Yes.
which is strange. I don't know why they wanted to use the select button in, like Zelda even did this.
Yeah.
Metroid Famicom did this too. You had Mysterious Murasame Castle, tongue twister. You had to hit select in order to go down on the menu, which was just weird.
Yeah.
And by continuing, I have the fireball. So that's helpful. I mean, it's heavy damage, but... So yeah, what was cool about this game, aside from it being very punishing and people remembered it for that, was the action platforming, not just the difficulty. Like, you have different weapons that you can get. There's, like, strategies to it. You're trying to figure out how to get through difficult segments, like I was trying to say before, like, where you need to kill a certain enemy with the shield in order to actually beat the level. If you don't kill him with the shield, you didn't beat the level.
One way I've heard these games described. Oh, watch out for the magician.
Yeah, I'm trying to kill him. All right, so here comes the. Don't get that.
Yep, but
here comes the
I've
Red
heard
Devil.
people describe this as basically an action puzzler. Like each stage is basically a puzzle that you kind of have to solve in order to be able to progress. Yeah, you have to know where things are. You have to know. Ooh,
Keep talking. I'm just.
What goes where? I got invested. No, you gotta kill him. He's gonna keep following you, man.
I know.
And that's the thing about some of these enemies. Yeah.
Red Devils are mean. I don't know if I hit the checkpoint.
No, I don't think you.
No, I didn't. So, yeah, this game is hard. By the way, I have beaten this game. I was so freaking tenacious one day.
You were a better player than I am.
Not just one day. It's been a long time of just making darn sure that it worked. And as for no, this is a checkpoint. Oh, he turns you into a frog. I forgot about that.
Yep, and you can't attack.
This is awful in some of the later levels.
Oh.
Yeah, there goes that. But yeah, some of the later levels, some of them are... No, he just spawned early. This is the beginning of the stage.
Oh, well,
I didn't know he could do that. That's awful.
I hate that.
But yeah, this game could actually punish you in so many ways that it was like unending torment. The knife. Now, I actually think that the fireball is the second best weapon, but the knife is just... the best.
It's way too quick and it does so much damage.
Right. Not as much as the fireball, but it's a lot. Okay, so
there you go.
Anyway,
there you go.
Oh, just killed a red devil on camera. So at least there's that.
But yeah.
So yeah,
it's a series that's still going today. We just
I really want to play Resurrection. I don't want to pay $30 for it.
Oh no, it's not worth that.
No, but I really want to play it.
Yeah,
it just looks so neat. I love the art style.
Yeah, that very storybook paper.
And they still have they have still hung on to his horribly slow control.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's part of Ghosts and Goblins is just being so frail and going so slow.
Exactly.
And at this rate, I'm actually trying to pigs in a blanket, guys. Trying to see if I can actually beat this for you guys.
Oh, you
because I'm coming close to the unicorn. Oh my god.
Oh, that's right. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh, they've got little...
Sorry. Anyway, let's just take that as an opportunity. We have to move on. There's so many games, and I will get absorbed in that. And that's the thing about this one. Because it's so hard, it's so tense, and that kind of makes it really fun. And the fact that it is very forgiving with its continues, it's very rewarding to push through and make it somewhere, because then you get the promise of seeing new stuff.
Exactly.
And ironically, the final level, like the final boss of this game, is a joke. It's super easy.
He can be,
super. You just back up and throw whatever weapon you got, and he will die. Satan, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Because
no, actually, no. You fight Satan, and then you fight two Satans, and then later you fight
the devil.
The devil, which is not Satan.
No, not the same.
Not the same.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Anyway.
How about a black box NES game that came out in, according to this, 84? So this really should have been in our last...
well, we didn't get it in the States. This again,
whatever.
This is just the error of just.
This is kind of a remnant of us saying we were going to put these in the year that they came out for us. So
in the U.S.,
forgive us. We're talking about some games that technically should have been in previous videos, but we're going to talk about balloon fights today.
Yep. So in this game, you play as a balloon guy. I don't know.
A guy on a
his name.
balloon.
Yep. And you're fighting birds that have balloons.
Sort of birds, I guess. And
They're
you're scared of
birds
an
that
evil
don't
fish.
They're birds that don't use their wings. They use balloons,
Yep.
but whatever.
And they fight with balloons.
Yep. There you go.
Yep. And basically you bump into them and don't let them pop your balloons.
Yep. They only have one. You've got two. Different colors will represent how fast they are.
Yep.
The pink white ones are going to be the easiest to get.
Yep. If you also, one of them popped my balloon from the side of the screen, and there goes my other one.
Yep.
So, I was going to mention, they pop your balloons with their beaks, so you really want to be above guys the whole time, and also, if you do not get them in time, and by get them I mean, smack them on the ground while they're knocked down.
Oh, now you've got an issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
They level up.
They will level up and come back in the air, and they will do that because they're able to inflate their balloon after they fall. You do not have this luxury.
No, because you didn't come as prepared.
I mean, you have a second balloon, to be fair, so there's that. The last one is suddenly going to become a... Good, he died, but I lost my other balloon. This is not good.
I know.
So anyway, this is actually kind of a tough game.
Yep. Ooh, there we go.
I've died again. I'm doing a terrible job showcasing it.
The physics
And
are really good in this game.
Oh, it is, yeah. We were also seeing there's other stuff that comes in later. There's like lightning, electric that comes out of the storm clouds.
Yep.
Also, I believe this was programmed by Satoru Iwata, and he used this programming to help him make the swimming in Super Mario Brothers.
I think so, yeah.
Which would explain how this is kind of messed up for us to talk about this in the 86 video, so we should probably just move on. Balloon fight, there it is! But yeah, so moving on from here, I have one more game to talk with you guys about today, and I am so bummed that it's probably not going to work, because it is another Famicom, but Super Mario Brothers 2.
Oh, yeah.
I hope this will work. I really hope it'll work. Actually, I tried demoing this, and before this, of course, the only one that I tried to make sure that it would work, and it played. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's Murasame and Metroid that I'm going to have to get working later. But, yeah, Super Mario Brothers 2. But hold on, this isn't actually Super Mario Brothers 2 from the West. This is the Japanese Super Mario Brothers 2.
Oh, good, this one does work. Oh, look at that little mushroom's got eyeballs. You could have knocked it out with...
Dang it! Yeah, the screen rolled past it. Because if you hit these blocks, you will get a poison mushroom.
Yep.
This is kind of what defines Super Mario Brothers 2 in Japan.
It's hard.
It is hard!
You guys have heard of those Kaizo Mario games? This is basically an official Kaizo Mario 1.
Yeah, and this is World 1-1, and I'm struggling to get through this as we're going to talk about this. This game is freaking hard.
So
I actually didn't know about that mushroom that spawned inside there. I'm going to try and get it.
So, no, don't scroll. Oh, okay. So, when it comes by, when it's coming to the right...
you knock it out.
Yep,
there we go. Got it. See, like, even that, like, the very opening screen, the whole idea is this game was designed for players who have mastered Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
Who have played so much of that game, they are basically bored of it.
Yeah.
And want a more challenging experience, which, yeah, that's exactly what this is.
Oh, yeah.
However, this does a lot of other things. I know it looks identical to Super Mario Brothers in terms of its graphics. This is going to sound weird, but its physics are different.
Yeah.
Say if I jump on that Koopa, if I jump on that Koopa, you couldn't really see it there, but you will actually jump higher, or how do I describe this? You're now at a set trajectory when you jump off of them. You don't like automatically, because before, if you held A, you would jump higher off an enemy. That doesn't happen anymore in this game. Now everything has a set height you will jump from. Some things are very low, and some things are very high. And you have no idea which Goomba, which Koopa is going to send you rocketing up really high into something that'll kill you, or very low and you'll fall into a pit.
And it's some of the reason why I just said, nope, I'm good to this one.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's freaking hard.
Yeah, it's meant to be, and it's almost like trollish almost in its design in some instances.
Oh, yes. Yeah. There's a lot of troll designs in this, which is crazy because it's an official Nintendo game.
Yeah.
And they actually thought this was a good idea at one point. Which, to be fair, see how in the original game you would have jump off those Goombas, but not in this one.
Right. Oh.
I tried jumping, but
Okay.
but anyway, yep, that's the end of that. This game is hard.
Yeah.
If you didn't get that. Also, another stupidly hard game that for some reason I decided to sit down one day and just hammer out until I beat it, and I did.
I see. I can't get into these kind of games. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what's wrong with me. But oh my god, yeah, this game is so hard, and especially what's so funny, the final stage. There are 2 Bowsers.
There are 2 Bowsers.
There's 2 Bowsers, and among so many other things, like there's springs, there's wind. There's so much that makes this game just like stupidly hard, and I've already lost my mushroom. In level 1, warps are very helpful in this game. But they're really hard to get to. Except there's some warps that will take you back to World 1.
Yep. You have to know which ones to go
There's
to.
reverse warps. And of course, if you get to one, you can't just go back. You're there. You have to take it.
Or, if the game developers are nice enough, they'll leave a little open block for you just to fall down into.
Right, a way to kill yourself so that you can at least pay a life to go back.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
so... Oh gosh, I hate that so
I know,
much.
this game...
Well, it hates you, so I mean...
It does, yeah, it really does just simply hate you. But anyway, yeah, it's a real shame I didn't get to play Mursame Castle and Metroid Famicom with you guys, but still, at least this is working. So yeah, you can get some of these on here. I'm not sure about getting some of those other ones to
I guess
work.
It's because it's the read-write for the saving that it can't do it.
Maybe.
Because you have to flip you have to physically flip the...
Though this is an emulator... and it really should just be working like a regular emulator at that. Oh my gosh, what?
Run and slide.
I know that's one way to do it, but what were they intending on players to do when they? Visuals right now, the game.
You can do it.
Oh my god. But anyway, I guess this is the end of days.
Oh,
there we go. Oh, good, I'm on the ceiling.
Oh,
so
wait, now is this a bad
This
warp?
is a good one. I'm still in World 1. It can only go forward.
Takes you to minus world immediately.
Oh.
That'd be terrible.
Well, you know, there were actually a bunch of I screwed it up right there at the end. They intentionally did that to try and stop people from cheating their way to future worlds.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, a freaking tough game. But yeah, there's a lot of other stuff coming later. I'm glad we were able to stay on pace this time.
Yep.
That was pretty good. We had to look at that. We had to talk about Metroid. We had to talk about Zelda. We had to talk about Castlevania. We had to talk about Dragon Quest. Super Mario Brothers 2, and then of course all those other huge games.
Yeah, no, this was like a really big year.
Yes, it was. Yeah, this. It's just mean.
It is.
This game is mean. But yeah, this is one. And some people, I've actually heard this say this. This is one of the most important years for video games, and to do this so soon, or maybe it's like one of the biggest for Nintendo because we've got some of the most important stuff is Nintendo based, but we've also got Castlevania, and like I said, we've also got Dragon Quest. It's not just the Kid Icarus and the Super Mario Brothers 2, which
we also had a bunch of stuff from Sega in the arcades.
Oh right, I forgot you could jump on bloopers.
Oh, in the air, yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, it's because they weren't supposed to be in the air.
Oh yeah.
And that's the game. That's the game.
Yeah, that's the game.
It's
We're
just
done.
traps. It is traps. I'm done. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this, Zach.
Take a breather.
I beat it once so that I could say I'd never have to play it again. And I don't know why I'm doing this again.
Why are you doing this
I don't
again?
know, but
Quit
you know
it.
what? I'm stopping. We're going to move on. We have 87 games coming after this. It only gets better from here.
Not 87 games. From the year 1987, I want to clarify.
87 games from the year 1987.
Okay.
No. Look at us trying to just handle like 15. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning into this episode of HITBOX. If you enjoy the show, you can help us keep it alive by supporting us on Patreon with the links in the show notes and this video's description. For those of you on YouTube, remember to like the video and subscribe for more, and be sure to let us know what you thought of the show and what other topics you would like to hear us cover in the future. So, thank you once again to all of our special Patreon members.
See ya.